Hey, welcome on into the sports news. The CrossFit Games are coming to town. We will be there next week, live on site. Also, we're going to be talking about another big event that's coming to Madison, boxing, August 12th at Madison Turner's. We will talk with some of the fighters from Supreme Hits. That's going to be on this very program. But first things first, we got to do the headlines, and it is powered by the Red Zone over on Regent Street and Conant Automotive in Stoughton. Stick around. The sports news next, right here on Wisconsin's 57 Sports. All right, time now for the headlines. Your 30-minute look into the tackles, hits, checks, and dunks that make up the local sports scene. I'm your host, Rich Reynolds, and as always, let's hit the ground running. Okay, maybe, just maybe, you've detected the occasional nip in the air or the fact that the days are getting just a little bit shorter, right? Nah, we're still all in shorts and running the AC. However, that doesn't mean that football isn't in the air and right around the corner. Now, the highly ranked Wisconsin Badger football team, picked by most media members to win the Big Ten West, opened up their fall camp on Saturday. While last year's big question was the quarterback battle, this year Alex Hornibrook has that on lockdown. The Badgers' biggest first world problems, if you will, are who is Hornibrook's backup, Kari Lyles or Jack Cohen, or who gets the bulk of the carries? Is it going to be Bradrick Shaw, Chris James, or Tywan Deal? Now, Bucky opens play on September 1st at Camp Randall Stadium against Utah State. Well, speaking of football camps, the Green Bay Packers got theirs going in Titletown last week with mostly first world football problems of their own. Now, with the offseason additions of tight ends Martellus Bennett and Lance Kendricks, the Packs are heavy favorites in Vegas to win the NFC and return to the Super Bowl for the first time in 7 seasons. The spotlight for the green and gold will mostly be on the secondary and top draft pick Kevin King, who is from the University of Washington. The Pack's first preseason game is Thursday, August 10th against the Eagles, while they open the regular season at home against the Seattle Seahawks. That's going to be coming up on September 10th. Well, speaking of home, the Madison Capitals hockey team is changing theirs after playing their first 3 seasons at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum. The Caps will now call the venerable Hartmeyer Ice Arena home when they drop the puck on the 2017-18 season in October. Hartmeyer, which was built in 1960, housed the Wisconsin Badger hockey team for 7 seasons. The 3,500-seat arena will undergo some renovations to make it ready for USHL play. In addition, the Caps got a new team president. That's Andrew Jodry. We will speak with him about the upcoming season and the big move pretty soon right here on the Sports News. And a rivalry that usually plays out during the high school season poured over to the pool at Maple Bluff Country Club as the All-City Swim Meet was held on Saturday. In the headline event for the girls, Alexandra Modersky, who swims for McFarland, kicked it in a high gear to pass Madison Edgewood's Kelly Rodriguez to win the 100-yard freestyle in just over 51 seconds to break a meet record, which had stood for 8 years. Now, the showdown between the two friends and WIAA state title holders was just part of the highlights for Rodriguez, who set a pool record in the 200-yard individual medley. Well, for more information and all the 411 on our headlines, check out these fine websites. Stick around, we have a jam-packed show as we'll do the interview thing. That's next, right here on the Sports News on 57 Sports. One of the cool things I get to do in front of or behind a microphone, I guess, is to step into the ring and do ring announcing for Supreme Hits Boxing, which has a great show coming up August the 12th, Madison Turner's Hall. And one of the cool things is a lot of guys that are making their debuts. We got 4 of the fighters are going to be there, including the main event guy. Right now, we got Deontay Bumaye Wilson will be in the main event. We got Danny the Predator Torres. We got Brian La Benedicion Guzman and Kevin Garduno, who doesn't have a nickname yet. So welcome on in, fellas. So we talk about a lot of debuts. Danny, yours got put on hold at the last event that was over at the Alliant Energy Center. It was like a last-minute thing. The other guy pulled out. You didn't look too happy about that. How excited are you to finally be able to step in the ring and make your pro debut?
Oh boy, man. I'm excited, you know. I can't wait to get in the ring, show my skills, and, you know, give the crowd a good show, you know. So Be ready, August 12th.
Everybody's got high hopes for you, as they do for you as well. Brian, let's talk about your fight. Who are you going to be fighting? What are you expecting to show? And how do you direct people to that 2-minute video that you made, which is fantastic, which kind of highlights you and your dad's relationship?
Yeah, the guy that I'm fighting, his name is Dale Bennett. And just like any other fight that I've ever been in, I'm just gonna go in there and do the best I can, try to be as effective as possible with my power and my speed. And if you guys could go to Facebook, Brian Joe Guzman Vargas, and
Go ahead and friend you.
Friend me and share the video, and you can see a little bit of the beauty that was captured behind the pain that prepared me for my pro debut. I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic video, and I love the relationship that you got going on with your dad. It's a great thing to see. So Kevin, let's turn our attention to you now. No nickname yet, no pro fight yet. You're making your pro debut. Are you ready to go?
All right, I'm more than ready. I've been ready when I was supposed to have my pro debut our last show, but it also fell through last minute. I was more than ready, went to Colorado Springs. I was in the best shape of my life. Came back, I said I was gonna keep the weight off and just keep training hard, and I'm ready to show the world my skills.
Excellent. Yeah, and we're looking forward to that. And you guys do some high altitude training out there, really get you into shape. One thing for sure, you guys are always into shape when you step into the ring. Speaking of which, Deontay Boomaye Wilson, you're the main event this time. Absolutely love seeing that. How ready are you for this fight and to show people why they call you Boomaye?
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely ready. Every time I step into the ring, I want to display everything I've been through as far as training camp, everything that I've prepped for 12 weeks leading up to the fight. So it won't just be me fighting that night, it'll be 12 weeks worth of fight that night.
Yeah, you also were able to get a strap the last time that you were in, so congratulations on that. And then in your weight division, around that same weight right there, there was a pretty interesting fight that we saw this past weekend between Broner and Garcia. What did you think of that? Is that something you aspire to get to?
Oh yeah, I definitely want to. I'm definitely aspiring to get to that level of competition. I thought it was a good fight. I thought Broner would have had a better chance if he would have thrown more punches and just been more active. I don't think he was as aggressive as he should have been.
Yeah, I think the problem, the problem with the problem is he doesn't throw enough. That's always, that's always been the way. Fellas, we're looking forward to it. Saturday night, August the 12th, I'll be there. I know you guys will be there, and hopefully everyone watching will be there too. Guys, good luck. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.
Hey, we've been talking about this on the program for a while now. Kind of exciting. The CrossFit Games are coming right here to our very own capital city of Madison, Wisconsin. Everybody's looking forward to it, especially this guy right here, as Brian Welker joins us again from CrossFit Conics. And welcome back in, Brian, and let's talk about the upcoming games. What's going on? What can people look forward to?
The games is going to be a great time this next week, August 3rd through the 6th. So that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A lot of stuff going on down at the Atlanta Energy Center. Some of the events, they actually have a public run-through that you can do. They have a run, swim, run, an obstacle course, a bike ride. Any spectators can sign up for like 10 or 15 bucks to go do the course that the athletes are doing, see how you stack up, and experience the festival grounds that the CrossFit Games has to offer.
So, I think that's pretty interesting. Now, the NFL's always been very good at being interactive with the fans. You go to the Super Bowl and you could catch footballs from a Hall of Fame quarterback or throw passes and stuff like that. So how important is it even for you to get your members involved in doing something like that and getting interactive with the games?
So getting my members there, they get to experience what the CrossFit Games is all about. Since it's been in California the last 15 years, we haven't been able to get out there. So having it in our backyard's awesome. We get to experience that. And a lot of my members are actually volunteering this weekend, so they're helping put the show on, put the spectacle on, and see what everything goes on behind the scenes.
Very cool. They get to get very interactive then, and I'm sure that means that you probably have some different things going on at your place then this week, don't you?
Yep, yeah, so we got a lot of things going on. Reebok's coming out Monday the 31st, trying on some shoes, get to work out in them, get some sales and some free giveaways and stuff like that. We got a couple groups coming out to put on some seminars and some clinics for weightlifting. That'll happen Thursday night from 6 till 9 p.m. And then just some drop-ins from all over the world, so you get to meet some cool people, like-minded fitness enthusiasts, and have a great time.
You know, I remember when the outdoor games came to Madison, and that was kind of a big thing, and it got people really kind of involved and interested in doing it. Do you expect that same kind of kick then for people to say, you know what, hey, maybe CrossFit's for me, maybe this does look pretty good for me?
Absolutely. With all the people in town, and you'll see people walking around who are either in or out without their shirts on, and they're just physical specimens, even the people that aren't competing. It's the fittest fans in the world, and you kind of want a taste of what they're on.
Excellent, yeah. And now for people that want to check out CrossFit Connex specifically, how do they do that? What do you got going on?
CrossFitConnex.com is our website. Sign up for a class, come for a free intro session, drop in, meet our great coaches, our great community, and come work out with us.
Yeah, and check you guys out this week on Wisconsin Family as well. Little crossover promo there. So good stuff. Brian, thanks so much for joining us. We're looking forward to the games.
Thanks a lot.
Brought to you by Conan Automotive, taking care of you by taking care of your family's car.
Welcome back to the Sports News. I'm Jessa Jeremiah here with champion gymnast Gabby Douglas. What a treat. Now, Gabby knows a thing or two about achieving goals, certainly, and still found time to study for her exams while obviously becoming a champion. Such an impressive young lady. Gabby, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited to chat with you, and we've got back to school season right around the corner, and you're discussing your kids and their parents, how they can prepare for the new school year. So we're excited about that. But first of all, I want to talk a little bit about you and what you've been up to lately.
I've just been enjoying the summer. I'm currently not training at the moment, but I'm exploring different hobbies and passions of mine other than gymnastics. Acting is one, hiking, skateboarding, martial arts. So it's been fun.
Oh my goodness. Well, obviously pretty well-rounded set of activities, and such an athlete. You're so accomplished as a champion gymnast, and couldn't be more excited to chat with you. But I want to talk a little bit about your goal setting specifically, because that's a really important component in what you do. How do you set goals, and also more importantly, how do you stick with them?
It's a huge component, and a lot of people don't know that when you write it down yourself, that you are 42% more likely to accomplish your goal. And my mom always taught me and my siblings that writing down your goal is so essential. So she would have us write down our goals. We would put it on a goal board, make it stick, and go out and accomplish those goals. And for me, since I'm currently not training at the moment, I still even set goals for myself to this day. As you see, acting classes is on here. See your goals. Let's do this. Get out of your comfort zone. And whatever you want to put on a goal board, I advise you to put your own style, your own flavor, and just be creative.
Yeah, I love that you write it down, and you also just make it your own, because you're not going to stick to something if it's not your drive and your goal and ambition.
Exactly. Add some glitter, cut out magazines, whatever you have to do to see it and picture yourself in the moment.
I think that's great. Now, we want to talk a little bit about back to school time. So for many kids and parents, what organization and maybe study tips too do you have for folks out there?
For study tips, I recommend that you do not get frustrated and do not get overwhelmed. I know you have to cram in those tests, and there's a lot, trust me, I know, balancing between sports and academics, I did it. To stay organized, I love using Post-it super sticky notes, and they are so essential because you can stick them on your goal board, you can travel with them, you can stick them on your wall, on your fridge, and they're so colorful. I love the color, they're so vibrant, and they add a lot of flavor to your goal board.
Well, I think that's a great idea, and obviously a fun way to write down your goals. Now, what advice do you have, kind of along the same lines, but when you do have a busy schedule like yours, and a lot of folks out there, especially parents and kids who are trying to juggle, what advice do you have on just time management?
My advice would be use your time wisely and don't get overwhelmed. Because for me, when I have a busy schedule and I look at my calendar, I'm like, okay, this is a lot to do in a month. I just take it day by day. Trust me, you'll get there and you'll be just fine by taking it day by day.
I think that's great, and obviously, you know, you don't want to bite off more than you can chew, but if you just go one little goal at a time, maybe that mountain doesn't seem so big.
Exactly, and it's just baby steps. I mean, for me, the Olympics was a big picture, but I had baby steps. I had, okay, get to this competition. Okay, get a higher score on vault. Okay, and then eventually it led to the bigger picture, which was the Olympics. Start off small.
Absolutely. There's a lot of athletes out there watching. We cover a lot of high school athletics on this particular program. And any advice that you have for high schoolers out there who are athletes trying to balance school and, you know, if they've got big dreams just like yours, what can you say to those folks?
I would say set goals, because that's what I did, make a goal board. I'm really pushing this and I'm really encouraging kids to do that because it's what helped me be the Olympic champion that I am today. And 2, don't procrastinate. I'm telling you, that's not okay. I did it and I would get so behind in my studies, so don't procrastinate. Just get those assignments, tests, whatever done, and don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's a great advice too, because it's easy to do so.
Take a breather.
Yeah. And I like how you say not to procrastinate because those things can add up on you. So
it can add up. It really can add up. Use your time wisely. I know we all love social media these days, but I'm telling you, it's not worth it. It's not worth the failed test and being stressed out.
Right, absolutely. Well, such a treat, like I said, to chat with you, such a champion in your life, in gymnastics. And before we go, just any advice on where to go for more information on what you're talking about today?
Yes, so for more information, go to posted.com/study.
Perfect. Well, Gabby Douglas, what a treat. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Jessa.
We're going to be back with more sports news coming up after the break.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.
Lots of things to do in the summertime. One of them is to get fit, another one's to go out climbing. Why don't we just kind of marry those two together right now as we bring in Keith and Jake with Summit Strength and Fitness. And Keith, of course, old hat at this, Jake, a new face here on the program. And welcome on in, gentlemen, and let's talk about Summit Strength and Fitness. And what is the purpose? Is it just for people who want to climb?
No, so the reason we created the space is to provide a facility where you can come in and practice a skill and learn how to climb or learn how to climb better. So it's more of a school, a teaching. You're not just in there screwing around on your own.
Yeah, and speaking of the school, Jake, you're one of the instructors and you teach the climbing movement class. Now, I'm thinking to do this, everyone's got to have like incredible upper body strength, right?
No, not necessarily. In fact, like when I first started climbing, I couldn't do a single pull-up. But with movement and proper technique, you actually don't need to be incredibly strong to climb well, and that's one of the benefits of learning proper movement with climbing.
Yeah, so technique key, as it is, I guess, in a lot of sports. And speaking of a lot of sports, doing the climbing movement class, now does that help you in other sports, and just how can that help you, or just in life in general?
Well, by learning proper movement and technique with climbing, you learn a lot about body awareness, which can be applied to virtually any activity in life, from things like going for a run to even like simple things like walking upstairs. It's also a mentally challenging sport, since you need to put yourself physically while still maintaining that mental composure. And since you do use your whole body in every muscle group, it's a great way to cross-train and get overall stronger.
Now, Keith, I know you guys do a lot of strength training there and stuff like that as well. So what's your approach when it comes to strength training?
So my background, I'm a certified strength and conditioning specialist. That's where I kind of got into climbing. But we approach it just like any other sport you would see. So first, assess how you are moving. And we try to mobilize the big muscles and stabilize big muscles. So whether you're brand new to climbing, or brand new to strength and conditioning, or been doing it forever, we're gonna break it down into the fundamentals and make sure you're moving properly before we start doing bigger lifts. And we try to make it as specific to whatever sport you're in there for. So we're not just training climbers. Ideally, you do come into climbing, but I still work with other athletes, and so we try to make it as specific as possible to your sport or activity.
Very cool. And speaking of sports, is this one day going to become like a standard high school sport, climbing?
Oh yeah, it's already starting to become that. Maybe not necessarily in where we're at, but not too far away from over in Milwaukee. There's
more than 15 schools that have club climbing teams. So it's not too far off, you know, it's getting close to us.
Very neat. I know you guys work with a lot of people different ages. If we go into the youth movement, we'll have to hit on that next time, though. We're out of time.
Yep.
This time, Keith and Jake, thanks for joining us here on the Sports News.
Thank you.
Thanks.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.
Okay, some people are cat people. Me personally, I'm more of a dog person, and I got a feeling that our next guests are as well. Jeff and Kate Fuller are joining us for the first time here on the Sporting News. Welcome in, guys. You guys are with Sporting Dog Adventures TV. All right, so now what exactly is Sporting Dog Adventures TV, and how is it family programming?
Well, we have a unique family program where we have our kids involved. We have 3 boys, 15, 16, and 12. And we also have our dogs involved. And Kate and I hunt all over the country with them, as well as here in the state of Wisconsin, and put together something that everyone can sit down and watch, because there's something for everyone in the family.
Very cool. Now, it's kind of based loosely or strictly like on a Labrador Retriever kennel. How does that work?
Well, Jeff started a Labrador kennel breeding program back in '98 with his first dog, and he got asked to guest host on other shows and things like that, and eventually started his own show. But it all comes back to our kennel and the dogs that we raise and love. We show our own dogs from Soggy Acres Retrievers quite a bit, but that's not the only dogs. We do showcase other breeds too.
Yeah, and speaking of those dogs who are ultimately, I guess, the star of your TV show, talk about some of the dogs that people are going to see when they tune in.
Well, we have our dog Rommel, who is in our theme song, and he's the one that we started the show with. He's a black Labrador Retriever. He's actually 11 and a half now, so he's headed toward probably just being more of a figurehead of the show. Okay. We've got our dog Pickett. We've got a dog named Ruger. We've got Pappy. We've got a new dog named Scarlet that has got a lot of personality and is about 5 months old. And we show these dogs in the field, but we also show them outside of the field so that you can see their personalities and really bond with them as members of the show.
Now, I know a lot of people love dogs, have dogs, stuff like that, but they haven't started a TV show about it. What actually got you started? What gave you the idea to start a TV show about the dogs?
I had someone that was involved in TV, and they talked me into doing a show. I honestly thought, hey, this is a great idea. I had been in law enforcement. I was a sergeant in the city of Muskego Police Department, and I got injured, had to retire, and I was looking for something to do. And I guess it was just an opportunity. We were on Outdoor Wisconsin, we were on a few other shows, and it's pretty much just snowballed from here.
Very cool stuff. Now, you guys also do some hunts as well. What type of hunts do you have?
As far as our format of the show, we do 8 waterfowl, 2 upland, and 3 big game shows. And that is pretty much how our season is set up. We also have our segments. Kate has a segment.
I do the What's Cooking with Kate, and we basically show people how to prepare the wild game that they've taken.
As well as we have training tips and we have product tips.
Wow, very cool. And a new lodge as well, is that right?
Yep, we actually just bought a property in Big Green Lake area, Green Lake County. That was August, I think, last year or so, about August or so. The lodge was partly constructed, so we finished the construction on that just recently in the past week or so. And basically people who book hunts there, we'll actually use footage from those hunts on the TV show.
Excellent. Hopefully people get involved on this. Good stuff. Nice having you here. Jeff and Kate, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.